A man who...
Well, I prefer to call myself an undisciplined social worker.
That's a very beautiful term. Many of you know because you've read his book, he span over quantitative and qualitative methods, which I think is a remarkable accomplishment. Most of us fall either in one or the other, not George, but George also I think is a man of wide learning. I have had the opportunity to meet and talk with him many times, and he always surprises me with his breadth of wisdom. So I felt it would be the most appropriate person to open up this 14th SSIT workshop, and I will stop speaking and leave the word to him. Thank you very much, George. I'm very happy that you wanted to come and give your blessing to us today.
Jannis, you're too kind.
Always, yeah, try.
So let me put this into context. I think Jannis would have preferred the director, Professor Craig Calhoun, to open this conference, and Craig has considerable interest in this area. But since Craig is somewhere between Toronto, Chicago, New York, somewhere in the stratosphere, fundraising and speaking on behalf of the school, you've got me. So, as they say, the organ grinder's working, so you get the money.
No,
so I'm delighted to open this conference, and I'm sorry I can't stay till morning because my passport has only got 6 months, and I'm travelling next week, and I have to go present myself to the ordering on the xenophobic agent, sorry, the passport. But I thought, Jannis said, could I say a few words? And I'm very struck by this title, the allure of big data, because big data is creating a number of new categories that one comes across. Bioinformatics has been around now for about 10 years, and now we see jobs on data analytics. A variety of new methodologies are being developed to statistics theory. And the allure is, of course, creating some business opportunities. We've all got used to relatively small laptops and tablets and all this kind of thing, and I'm sure the computer manufacturing industry is looking forward to the moment when every academic has to have a massive computer on their desk. So out will go the PCs, and we'll all have rooms with high-powered computers and so forth. And what will these deliver? Well, in my experience, some fascinating insights. Part of my research is on the social implications of genomics and life sciences. And there was a really extraordinary piece of research looking at the genomes of about 20 different species and looking at the similarities between these genomes and then drawing a little picture, a sort of dendrogram on representing the associations between them. And hey presto, it was the phylogenetic scale. So starting off with absolutely no hypothesis, but just we know certain species have more or less similar genes and some are more or less dissimilar. But it was, I thought, a wonderful piece of, I always argue you can't do research without a hypothesis, but this seemed to confound that experience. Then there's work on biobanking, enormous amount of effort going into setting up. There's a British biobank, most countries are setting them up. This is an attempt to study the etiology of diseases and to look at genetic, environmental, health, etc., antecedents of disease. Some very interesting legal and ethical implications of collecting all this data, and it particularly becomes a worry to people when either somebody leaves a laptop computer or a CD on a train with lots of data on it, or it's found that somebody in the National Health Service has the bright idea of selling data to raise a bit more money in difficult times. And now we have a good deal of effort going into the analysis of social media. And that, I think, flags up that the allure for some is a concern and a worry for others. So we've had a lot of discussion on things that we didn't know they were doing in the National Security Agency in the US, or GCHQ in this country, and the association between the Googles and all these other companies dealing with massive computer systems, etc., etc. So, certain worries. So it seems to me very timely to weigh up and to anticipate the social, ethical, and legal implications of this new development in big data. It is an ability. And like many new technologies, it's associated in some minds with utopian ideas. It's going to deliver things that we have never imagined could be delivered, and it will deliver them in apparently nanoseconds rather than the hours that would have taken these analyses in past times. And the technologies start off with the advocates trumpeting all their benefits, etc., etc. And sometimes the voices of concern become a bit dystopic, but I think one needs to try and strike a balance between hype and collective pessimism, and try and inform the public debate, which can then feed into appropriate, soft and hard regulation of these new opportunities. So with that, I wish you a good day. I'm sorry I can't seem to spend some time with you because social aspects of technology really are one of my great interests, but I'm sure it will go well, and I'll pass you back to your eminent chairman, my good colleague, Jannis.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll give you a small outline of the workshop. Most of you have the programming in front of you. The idea, as George already captured in his brief talk, is to, to question the phenomenon, not negatively, question the phenomenon of big data, approaching it with an open eye, with significant degree of criticality, trying to understand the promise, but also the deception of the phenomenon. So that's why we're here today. So next talk, we start. In the morning we have two talks. First of them by Professor Theodore Porter, which I will introduce you in a little while. He's the keynote speaker. I give an account of the way big data can be understood in a broader historical context. I will introduce you in a little bit while. I will introduce Professor Porter. The second talk in the morning is by Professor Rick Daldry, which is from Media and Communications. He isn't with us because, out of a strange coincidence, he holds another workshop on the other side of this. That happens in life, and that will conclude the morning. The afternoon will begin with a panel. We have four distinguished panel participants who will speak to you in short kinds of 10 minutes presentations, their ideas about big data, and then we will try to get them involved in some sort of discussion, if that is possible, and then open also the floor to the public to ask questions, object, or anything else they would like to do in connection with the issues and the themes that the panelists have debated. That will be chaired by Dr. Karsten Sørensen, who also is not here, is traveling this morning to arrive at the workshop. He will be with us in the afternoon. So after the panel, which will last 1.5 hours, so it's meant to be the kind of a central event in the workshop, is a talk I will give together with Nico Tempini, so you will see, as I told you, a lot of me, and is on the issue of how you can exploit social data to produce expert knowledge, and more specifically, medical knowledge. That's not how you think about social data. You think about Facebook and about trivial kinds of things and encounters which can sell to companies and blah, 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 but here we tell a different story. You can even produce medical knowledge through social media platforms. More of that later. So, and the talk and the workshop will finish with the final talk, which is Andrew Goffrey. I don't see whether he is here yet. Is he? There he is. Yeah. You should be sitting here. Is a collective work written by him and Martin Fuller and Mackenzie, which is his first name? Adrian Mackenzie. Lancaster, Goldsmith, and Andrew is from Nottingham himself. And that will conclude as a project with an empirical project as well, and some ideas about how you could see the data placed in a broader ecosystem of relations. So that will conclude. And after that, guys, there's a reception for all of you in this building, and the 8th floor we can see the skyline of London. We do have a skyline out here.